Welcome back to Soldier Field on a 44-degree afternoon with swirling winds.
Well, we all talked about that comeback by the Vikings last week. We focus on the offense and the points they scored. But, Goose, if that defense doesn't do their job, that offense never gets the opportunity to be on the field.
You're absolutely right, Darryl. When they get those 3 and outs and all of a sudden the crowd goes crazy and the sidelines go nuts, that's when this offense plays better. The offense feeds off of this Vikings defense. Jared Allen, Kevin Williams, Pat Williams, they all need to go and start this game off with a lot of pressure on Cutler and get it done in order for this Vikings team to have a successful day today.
Brett Favre and the Vikings came back from 14 points down with under 4 minutes remaining last week. Bears have won 8 of their last 9 home games against the Vikings, while the Vikings have lost their last 8 on the road. Minnesota's last road victory November 1st last season in Green Bay. The Bears have won the toss and will receive. Devin Hester back deep as Ryan Longwell gets things started. Opening kickoff eludes Hester, and the Bears will start from their own 20-yard line. Let out by the 5th-year quarterback out of Vanderbilt, Jay Cutler.
Well, Jay Cutler's got a big arm. He can make any throw you're going to ask a quarterback to make in the NFL, but it's his decision-making that needs to improve. When he makes good decisions during the course of the game, this Bears offense moves the ball very well. He has to understand that. He cannot have turnovers this afternoon against this Viking defense.
Bears start from their own 20-yard line. Cutler looking to throw on first down, and the intended receiver, Hester, slipped. 2nd and 10 coming up. Bears ranked 29th on offense. They finally have some stability on the offensive line as we check out the backs and receivers. They've used 5 different starting O-line combinations this season.
And that was one of the big things they found last week was this group right here. They'd love to have this group be able to go through the rest of the season intact, and that allows them to get to that balance that they felt was successful last week against Buffalo.
On 2nd and 10, this is Matt Forte, who leads the Bears in rushing and receiving gains 4. Out to the 24-yard line, E.J. Henderson made the tackle for the 5th-ranked Vikings defense.
And I agree with Tony. This group has got to take the field with the emotion that they finished the game with last week. They can't wait until that situation to dial it up. They've got to get after this Chicago team, put some pressure on Jay Cutler, get around him, make him nervous in the pocket, try and force him into bad decisions.
You know, Jay Cutler has that low release also, Dow. That defensive line can get their hands up and tip some balls to try and force some turnovers.
Chris Cook starting at corner for the injured Asher Allen. 3rd down and 6. Bears must get to the 30 for a first down. And they do as the catch is made out at the 33-yard line for a gain of 9 by Earl Bennett.
One of the things that gets Jay Cutler into trouble is he has so much confidence in that arm. And when you have a quarterback that can make every throw and has the confidence in that strong arm, he's going to try and fit some balls into some tight spaces. If he can be as good as he was last week with his decisions against the Bills as he is today against the Vikings, this offense has the ability to move it effectively against the Vikings.
This is Forte as the Bears keep it on the ground on first down. He takes it out to the 38-yard line, gain of 5.
We talked at the top about blocking and about tackling, the fundamentals of the game of football. And one of the things that's really happened this season that's surprising to me is the Minnesota Vikings run defense is not at the level that we've expected it to be at and the level we've seen it at over the last several seasons. So can Chicago take advantage of that with this offensive line group they found and be able to establish Matt Forte in the running game?
2 tight ends set. 2nd down and 5. Manu Maliuna shifts into the backfield. And it's Forte once again, not much. Gains a yard. Pat Williams made the tackle.
Pat Williams does a nice job of taking on the double team. And Darryl, you're absolutely right. They got to stop that run. They got to get to 3rd down and long and let these defensive ends go out there. Jared Allen and Ray Edwards go out there and rush the passer and try to make something happen.
There's former Bear Leslie Frazier, Vikings defensive coordinator. 3rd down and 4. Bears spread the field, 4 receivers. Cutler takes off, has a first down and more into Vikings territory. Jay Cutler all the way down to the Minnesota 36-yard line, a gain of 26. It's Cutler's longest run this season.
Well, this is one of the things that was effective last week against the Buffalo Bills. And what we've heard from a lot of defensive coordinators and players is no more back to the ball defending. And that means they don't want their back to the quarterbacks. Jay Cutler, if he sees that, he's going to pull it down. Look at all that room right there.
You better learn how to slide, Darryl.
He's too competitive.
Bennett in motion from the Vikings 36. Forte. And he's tackled at the 34-yard line by the Vikings' leading tackler this season, Chad Greenway, gain of 2.
I think it's interesting when you ask coaches, you know, okay, when you're going to do your plan against your opponent, what do you look at first? And when we asked Mike Martz this, he went to the secondary. The thing that jumps out of him about Minnesota is how well they tackle. And that is the reason that this run defense has been so strong for so long. They are a very, very good tackling defense, not just in their front, but also in the secondary. They put a lot of pressure on their corners to make tackles on the perimeter.
Antoine Winfield, one of the best,
if not the best.
Second down and 8 with split backs. As Cutler swings it out.
On cue.
Yep, but it did not fool Antoine Winfield.
Well, it's actually one of the risks that they run because Antoine Winfield has now become kind of that nickel corner. So that puts him in the slot. So he's going to be out here in the slot. You see him moving into your frame right there. He sees that screen right away. As he moved inside, he prevented the wide receiver from the outside being able to get a block at him. Great vision.
And big guys up front, too. Also, nice job of identifying and getting out there and picking up some of those blockers.
So the former Viking, Chester Taylor, lost 3 yards on the play. Now 3rd down and 11. Cutler looking for Forte. Incomplete.
You know, Darryl, them short passes right there that you would think would be real easy is really going to go and be tough today. The wind is really affecting a lot of the throws. I had a chance to talk to Brett Favre before the game also. He said on those little 5- and 10-yard passes, it's going to be a tough little dump pass because of the wind coming across the field.
Well, it's more of a touch throw, Tony, so you're not putting a lot of velocity on it, so you've got a great opportunity for that wind to affect the throw.
Penalty markers prior to the snap. Brad Maynard out to punt.
Offense, number 81.
That's Rashid Davis.
5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Tony Correnti, our referee today. So this will back Maynard up 5 yards.
That wind's also going to make it a little difficult for this kicking game also. Got Maynard back there on that snap. Sometimes that ball will move.
Snap from Patrick Donnelly, handled by Maynard. Greg Camarillo back deep for the Vikings. But Maynard takes it into the end zone. So Brett Favre and the Vikings will start from their own 20. Back in Chicago, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa, Brett Favre, and the Minnesota Vikings offense on the field for the first time today, starting from their own 20-yard line. Favre sets up the screen on 1st down to Percy Harvin, who was questionable, suffered some more migraines throughout the week, and Harvin gains 3. Favre making his 318th consecutive start, including postseason, which extends his all-time record.
Yeah, and during the course of those games, he throws for the most yards ever last week in the game against Arizona. The thing that amazed him the most was not a lot of deep throws. There was a lot of short throws, and his receivers did a great job with the run after the catch.
His longest completion was 33. He finished with a career best 446. This is Jeff Dugan. Dugan out across the 30. His 4th catch of the season. He gains 9 and a 1st down. And comes away with some grass stuck in his helmet as well.
And I think that's going to be the biggest question when you look at this group right here, Bernard Berrien and Percy Harvin. How are they going to be able to play during the course of the game? Bernard Berrien, a groin injury. He did not look good in warm-ups. Percy Harvin was not at practice very much. He got a lot of the game plan secondhand. It wasn't like he had a bad ankle and he could go out there and watch the installation. He was actually not on the field.
This is Adrian Peterson, and he's hit for a loss. Anthony Adams, terrific penetration, loss of a yard.
We talk about matchups, Moose. One that I'm going to be looking at, Julius Peppers going against Brian McKinney.
Yeah, well, that's one from last year when Julius was at Carolina.
Yeah, they're going to have to bring some people over there to help out McKinney.
But similar to your group from back in 2000, Goose, this defense doesn't do a lot of things to try and trick you. They play a pretty simple style of defense and just challenge you to beat them.
Line up and play.
Two tight ends, second down and 11. It's Peterson again up the middle. And this time he picks up a first down. Adrian Peterson, the NFL's second leading rusher, takes it out to the 49 for a gain of 19.
Nice play call right there. I think he caught the Bears expecting pass. Brian Urlacher, 54, a little bit deep. That allows John Sullivan to get up on him. And right in the middle, they're able to get Adrian Peterson to the second level very quickly.
If them offensive linemen can get to that second level, like you pointed out, Moose, they're going to have a field day of running the ball with Adrian Peterson. You got to go and attack those offensive linemen when they're climbing to that second level.
From the 49-yard line, Favre swings it out to Peterson into Bears territory. Down to the 45-yard line, a gain of 6. As we check in on the Buccaneers and the Panthers with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, Kenny, Carolina fumbled on the opening possession around midfield. Tampa Bay made him pay. Wrapping things up with a Josh Freeman to a really has been 8-yard score, and just like that, the Bucs are already up 7-0. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Buccaneers with a record of 5-3.
It's going to be a tough chore for Carolina today. No D'Angelo Williams, no Jonathan Stewart. That puts a lot of pressure on Jimmy Clausen.
For the season. Here's Peterson, and he picks up another Vikings first down. Took it down to the Chicago 40. Peterson out, Toby Gerhart in.
Adrian Peterson last week, Darryl, just, you know, it seemed like as the game went on, the more carries he got, the tougher he ran, and the harder.
All the great ones, Goose. Their production goes up as the game wears on.
Yeah, you think it would be worn down, but not him.
Favre, pump fake, then he throws, and the catch is made at the 25-yard line by the tight end, Vasante Shanko, for a gain of 15. It was Shanko who caught the game-tying score from Favre last week.
And he's one of the guys that Brett Favre has a little bit of chemistry with. You see right there, Brian Urlacher had dropped into the spot. You know, Brett pumped it, and then he goes to the back shoulder. That's a good adjustment between Vasante Shanko and Brett Favre. Probably the guy he feels most comfortable with out there on the field as a receiver.
Number 4 starts the game 4 for 4. 3 receivers set from the 25-yard line. Here's Peterson. Spins down to the 22. Julius Peppers chased him down and made the tackle. The center, John Sullivan, shaken up, and he goes down. He was trying to get off the field and could not make it to the sideline.
Well, you're going to run at Julius Peppers. That's one of the ways you're going to try to negate him. But look at the hustle by Julius. He's upfield, turns around, chases that play back. And John Sullivan was actually over near where that tackle was made. As you pointed out, Kenny, he tried to get off the field. So we'll update you when we get back from commercial.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Adrian Peterson took the handoff from Favre, and Peterson takes it down to the 23-yard line. Israel Adonijah made the tackle as the Vikings training staff works on John Sullivan.
John Sullivan's going to be your center. Watch number 65 as he works his way to you. It's his left ankle. You saw them working on the back of his leg, the Achilles area, that calf area. And that was one of the first things that Tony pointed out when we were in break, is you hope that's not what it is, because you didn't see that ankle roll. So hopefully John's going to be all right. He'll be able to join in later in the game.
Replaced by John Cooper on 3rd and 7. Vikings keep it on the ground with Peterson. And Peterson takes it down to the 18-yard line, stopped 2 yards shy of the marker. So the Vikings, who have not scored on an opening drive yet this season, will send out the field goal unit.
Good physical run by Adrian Peterson right there. Not a lot. That Chicago defense is doing a good job right now, Tony, getting some penetration and forcing him to make his decisions quick.
Here's Ryan Longwell, who has not missed yet this season. 8 for 8, 36-yard attempt with the win from the right hash. And Longwell's kick is good. So the Vikings pick up 3 on their opening drive. First time they've scored on their opening drive this season.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, by K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Back in Chicago, field position could become a major factor today with the swirling winds. As we check out the Vikings scoring drive, Longwell kicking with the wind, hitting the 36-yard field goal. Bears won the coin toss. They deferred. Minnesota then had the option. They decided to take the wind and kick. Here's Devin Hester on the return. Hester across the 30 to the 37-yard line. A 33-yard return by Hester. Vikings lead the Bears 3-0. Terrific field position following the 33-yard return by Hester. Jay Cutler and the Bears start from their own 37-yard line. 3 wide receivers set. Forte the lone back. And the give is to Matt Forte, who gains 2. Out to the 39, Pat Williams and E.J. Henderson made the tackle.
E.J. Henderson, one of the guys that Mike Martz is going to have his eyes on. And when you watch this offense, you're going to see a lot of motion and a lot of shifting. And what Mike Martz is trying to do is challenge the defense and get them to look away from their run reads. One of the guys he'll key on is E.J. Henderson. He wants to see how much his head is moving back and forth. How much is he impacted? He says on film, not very much.
Butler on 2nd and 9. And Hester, for the second time, slipped. And the pass sails incomplete.
Well, this is a very, very detail-oriented offense. It's very specific with the routes, with your landmarks and what you're doing. And that's the second time we've seen Devin Hester slip on these throws. It's a timing-based offense. You can see that ball come out. It's already in the air. So if you slip on your cuts, you are leaving your quarterback very susceptible to an interception.
3rd down and 9. 3 wide receivers all split to the left. Cutler fires, deflected, and picked off. Hussein Abdullah with the interception. Cutler picked off for the 8th time this season.
You get all kinds during the course of the season. This one is not on. Great defensive play by the Minnesota Vikings.
First career interception for Hussein Abdullah. Vikings back in offense from their own 43. John Cooper still in at center. John Sullivan, a calf injury. His return is questionable. Bernard Berrien re-aggravated his groin. His return is questionable. Favre swings it out on 1st down to Toby Gerhart, the rookie out of Stanford. He takes it into Bears territory, gain of 8.
Let's go back and take a look at this. Here's Johnny Knox. I want you to watch the top of the route. He needs to work back to the quarterback. When he doesn't do that, you see Lito Shepherd, number 29, in the trail position. When he stays flat right there, watch what this allows him to do. He can come across, he gets that hand in there, it deflects off the hand and goes right to Hussein Abdullah.
Second down and 2. Peterson in the backfield from the Bears 49. First incompletion for Favre today, but there is a flag.
Holding, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Lovie Smith knows Brett Favre as well as anybody, matched up with him several times during the course of their careers. And he's going to hope to have the opportunity to get a throw. There's your mismatch that everybody looks for. And it's Henry Melton, the defensive lineman, versus Visanthe Shenko. So when you bring pressure and you do that zone blitz scheme, every once in a while you're going to have one of those matchups. Brett Favre is going to find out if he's got one of his guys matched up against the defensive lineman pretty quick.
From the 44 on first down, it's Peterson leading forward. Gains just 1 as we check in on the Colts and the Bengals with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Cincinnati has lost 5 straight, and they've dug themselves a quick hole at Indy. Carson Palmer picked off by Kelvin Hayden, threw it right to him. 31 yards later, it's a 10-0 Indianapolis lead. Still 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
I do not know what's wrong with Carson Palmer this year. I mean, all the weapons he has around him, and we had him in the preseason, and Tony, you made the point, this puts a lot of pressure on him with all those weapons on the outside. He has not responded.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide. They bring in the receivers to go and give you people to throw the ball to, but not getting it done.
Bengals just 2 and 6. Here's Percy Harvin. And Harvin takes it all the way down to the 37-yard line as we approach 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. Gain of 7.
This is one of the plays they did last week. Get that ball to Percy Harvin. Visanthe Shenko goes across in motion. He's the key block. He's going to take the first defender that's on that force to come up and make Percy Harvin make that decision. Visanthe times it well, gets out, gets him out of the way, and then that allows Percy Harvin. He's so much bigger than I thought he was. You see him down on the field. He's a powerful guy. You could see him move that pile at the end of the run.
Harvin coming off his second straight 100-yard game. Third down and 2. As Favre fires and it's broken up. Brian Urlacher, and there is a late flag thrown as well.
Holding, defense, number 26, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's on quarterback Tim Jennings.
You know, there's a flag in the secondary, but, you know, Brett Favre, watch him stand in the pocket. He's got Julius Peppers on the game. He's coming inside. They don't get it handled, and he just gets hammered. I mean, he has been hit so much this season. And I really think, you know, you wonder why he's not coming back next year. I mean, the only guy who's been hit more than him is Donovan McNabb up in Washington.
Yeah, as he's done for 2 decades, he pops right back up. Gerhardt, nice run. Down to the Bears' 22-yard line.
Nice little move there by the young man. Rookie jumping a little high jumping as he comes through the line of scrimmage. Body's on the ground, boom, just jump right over him and keep driving. I like how he keeps his eyes downfield, covers the ball up after he gets through the line of scrimmage. See that other hand? Watch that right hand. Boom, cover the ball up and keep running downfield, because that Bears defense will attack that ball and try to get it out for a turnover.
Gerhardt gained 11 as the first quarter comes to an end with the Vikings on the move. Vikings lead the Bears 3-0. We'll return after these messages from your local station. On the left, Bernard Berrien, the former Bear, and on the right, Sidney Rice. Vikings hope to have Rice back next week.
Trying to come off that PUP, looks good at practice.
Real good, doing warm-ups also last week.
We start the second quarter with Favre connecting to Shenko. And Shenko gains 2 down to the 20-yard line. Brett Favre has started this game 7 for 7.
He's unbelievable. I mean, the stuff he does. I mean, even last week, we made the statement with 12 minutes ago how important that drive was. They come away with no points. And I think even Brett, inside 4 minutes, you know, he's got to even wonder, you know, can we pull this thing out at the end? I mean, it was just an unbelievable effort by the whole team. I mean, all 3 phases came together in those last 4 minutes.
Second down and 8, Toby Gerhart. Gerhart down to the 10-yard line. This is the best Gerhart has looked so far during his rookie season.
Well, he's gotten better and better from week to week, and a lot of that has to do with what he's doing in the passing game. But here today, great patience. Watch your two linebackers, Urlacher and Briggs, kind of move this way. Toby Gerhart, just great patience for a young running back. Everybody stacked up there, right out the back door. Nice job by Anthony Herrera. Everybody fitting, just keeping your legs moving. Again, there it is, blocking. It's at its basic form, the game of football is about blocking and tackling.
First and 10 from the Bears, 11. It's Gerhart again. The second in Heisman Trophy voting last year, the closest ever balloting. Mark Ingram, of course, won the Heisman. Gerhart finished a close second, and he's off to a strong start today.
And the running game, which we really haven't seen a whole lot when we've had a chance to watch the Vikings. We've seen him kind of mature and understand the passing game, but off to a great start here early in the run game.
Second down and 9. Gerhart in the backfield. Lewis split to the left, Camarillo to the right, Harvin in the slot. And the inside handoff goes to Gerhart, but this time he is tackled in the backfield by Israel Adonijah.
Israel does a great job of identifying run, coming right down the line of scrimmage, stopping him right in the backfield. Let's take a look. He's all the way there on the right-hand side. He comes straight down the line of scrimmage. Now, he would have had a problem if Brett would have kept the ball, but he identifies who has the ball, Gerhart, and then makes a nice tackle in the backfield.
Had to be a missed assignment there, Tony. Nobody had Israel Adonijah on that play blocking him.
Percy Harvin in the backfield. 3rd and 10 from the 11. Favre under pressure, throws it away.
Well, that's exactly what happens when you worry about Julius Peppers too much. Everybody's looking at Julius Peppers. The Chicago Bears bring two guys right up underneath him. See Julius there on the outside. Here comes Urlacher.
Intentional grounding, offense number 4. This creates a loss of down, 4th down.
The officials got together, and it has been ruled intentional grounding. That's Favre's first incompletion today. He ended last week's game 7 for 7 and starts today's game 7 for 7.
Well, that was a pretty strict call by the officials right here, because in my opinion, what they were trying to do, I think they were doing exactly what Tony said. They were trying to bait Julius Peppers with Percy Harvin on that quick little screen out to the left, but he had 2 receivers in the back corner of the end zone in the area where he threw it. He just didn't get it close enough to him.
So the penalty forces the Vikings back 10 yards. 39-yard attempt by Longwell. It is off the upright.
Minnesota has talked about balls now bouncing their way. That penalty pushes them back a little bit farther. You wonder if it would have snuck inside that upright if it had been where the ball was previously.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness. By Call of Duty Black Ops, available now, rated mature. And by the all-new Volkswagen Jetta. It's great for the price of good. That's Das Auto.
Brett Favre and the Vikings lead the Chicago Bears 3-0 following the missed field goal. The Bears take over from their own 29. Chester Taylor, the former Viking, in the backfield, gained over 1,000 yards for the Vikings back in 2006. Chris Cook makes the tackle. Taylor close to a first down.
Talk about a hard runner, Darryl, with Adrian Peterson, but Chester Taylor's right there with him.
Nice 1-2 combination for Minnesota last year. That's why he was so sought after in free agency. Chicago knew him. They wanted to get him as quickly as possible.
And it's always nice to play against your old team.
Got a little bit something extra in the tank.
Always a little bit something extra.
Taylor did pick up the first. Here's Taylor again, but this time he's wrapped up by Kevin Williams as we head west once again to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
Well, the Cleveland Browns have checked off both the Saints and Patriots in their last 2 games, and now they're trying to do it to the Jets. Peyton Hillis, who has been a beast lately with a 12-yard score, put them up 10-3 as they get ready to end the first quarter in Cleveland. Getting loose and goose.
Looks like everybody wants to do that Lambeau leap, Darryl.
the Cleveland climb.
There it is.
Cleveland climb. Second down and 6. Here's Cutler. Throws left, and it's incomplete. Taylor unable to hang on.
Oh, if he gets that ball to Chester Taylor, it's going to be a nice gain for the Chicago Bears. Here he is there on the outside. Like I said, those short passes with this wind down here is going to be, you got to go and make sure you solidify the ball. You can't take your eyes off the ball. Those easy throws aren't so easy.
Cutler just 2 for 7. He was picked off during the Bears' last possession. Bears empty the backfield, 3rd down and 6. They must get to midfield, and the play is blown down.
Yeah, they got a late shift by Earl Bennett.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
I thought they were going to get illegal shift and have 2 people moving at the same time. It was a play that really wasn't sure by formation at the snap from the get-go.
It's the left tackle, Frank Omiel, who is flagged. There's Mike March, Bears offensive coordinator. 3rd down and 11. Cutler on 3rd and long, can't find anyone downfield. Now he throws, and the catch is made for a 1st down by Johnny Knox, who averages 19.5 yards per reception. On this play, he gains 30.
Just keep working. Your quarterback's doing the same thing. He's matched up against Lito Shepherd on the in route. You see him scramble, just keep going. Lito Shepherd kind of takes his eyes off him for a little bit, slows down, but Johnny Knox keeps going. Now, this is the second nice play we've seen Jay Cutler make on the move. He had the nice run in the 1st quarter here. Buys himself a little bit of time. Finds Johnny Knox coming across the field for a big game.
Cutler calls timeout. So when we return, it will be 1st and 10 from the Vikings, 33 for the Bears, who trail by 3. Back in Chicago.
A couple of guys that know each other pretty well. You look at Brian Urlacher, right? I mean, he just looks like what a Chicago Bears middle linebacker should look like. If you're going to design him, that's what he should look like.
Off the play fake, Cutler complete to Hester. And Hester gains 7 down to the Vikings 26.
Tell you what, Chad Greenway's all over the field, Darryl. He's really playing well.
I just don't think that the linebackers for Minnesota ever get enough credit. We talk about their front all the time, but they've got a pretty good group behind them.
I just like his effort. Comes and sees a little screen right here, boom.
Chester Taylor inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. Jared Allen made the tackle. Bears wearing their throwback jerseys today, honoring the monsters of the Midway teams of the 1940s.
That's old school, aren't they?
Yeah. How about that, though? We talk about the most winningest team of a decade, and I would not have gone to the 1940 Bears. Look at that. Look at all those championships.
And a .757 winning percentage. 81 wins, only 26 defeats during that decade. Best of all time. Off the play fake. Cutler, loads of time on 3rd and 2, and he finds his man Johnny Knox for a 1st down. Chris Cook finally made the tackle. Knox picks up 11.
You read between the lines when we talked to Mike March the other day, and I felt it was going to be tough for him to maintain the balance in the run pass. And the reason why is he felt that Minnesota was a very good tackling team, even in their secondary. But the question is then, are they a good cover team? Can you do both? Can you tackle well and can you cover well? I think he was leaning on, I may need to spread the ball around a little bit more in the passing game against Chicago. He's been keeping a good balance up until this point, but their big plays have come through the pass.
There's Taylor. And again, it is Chad Greenway who makes the tackle, no gain.
I mean, for years, this Minnesota defense has virtually been impossible to run on. They do a great job of understanding their gap responsibilities. They want to be an east-west team. They want the running back to move off to the perimeter, not be allowed to run between the tackles. And then they always had great tackling corners on the outside. And Mike March felt he could challenge them with their coverage.
On second down, here's Taylor inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. So the Bears now facing a 3rd down and 5.
Again, this is just going to be a real physical game today. These two teams know each other really, really well. That's just your straight lead play to the weak side. E.J. Henderson overruns it a little bit right there. You could see him slip. We just talked about gap responsibility. When you're filling those gaps, you can't over-pursue.
Bears must get to the 3 for a 1st down. Cutler rolling right, looks left, throws back across the field to the tight end, Greg Olsen, and he takes it in for a Bears touchdown. But there is a flag back at the 7-yard line.
And this is going to be one of those unnecessary penalties that I think is going to bring the touchdown back.
Holding, number 57, put the defender around the shoulder. 10-yard penalty remains, 3rd down.
It's on the center, the 13-year veteran, Olin Kreutz.
Well, I think Greg Olsen needed to be a little bit more patient on the screenplay from the beginning. Backside, he does a good job selling it there, but now watch right here. Let your lineman engage. See Olin Kreutz pull him down late. He was fine. He was fine. His hands were around the defender as he was working him. But as the defender went to spin around, he pulled him. He didn't need to pull him. I know the fans here are booing, but you're going to have to make that call.
So now 3rd down and 14, empty backfield. Cutler looking, fires. Again, it is Olsen. And let's see, was he ruled down at the 1? No, he got in. So Olsen, who had the touchdown taken away a moment ago following the penalty, with his 4th touchdown of the season.
And we talked about Jay Cutler having a lot of confidence in his arm. You talk about fitting it into a tight space. Look at all the Viking defenders around Greg Olsen right there.
I'll tell you what, that Chicago Bears offensive line doing a great job. He had all day back there. They rushed 4 guys, but had no pressure whatsoever.
Robbie Gould adds the extra point. Cutler, 17-yard touchdown pass to Olsen. Bears lead by 4. Bears take a 7-3 lead. Jay Cutler's 10th touchdown pass of the season. He was 5 for 6 on the drive. There's Harvin from the 2. Cuts to his left. And finally taken down as he crosses the 30. 29 yards on the return. Percy Harvin.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to make a block however you can. Just you watch Jamarcus Webb right here. I don't know how you teach this technique. This is just effort. Oh, he beat me to the inside. Now I'm going to play some basketball, box him out, use my big fanny in the back there.
Tell you what, he's got some good moves. He can dance a little bit. Nice move.
That's good effort right there.
Any way you can get it done.
Nice job by the 7th-round pick out of West Texas A&M. Now the Vikings start from their own 31-yard line, and Adrian Peterson gains 5 out to the 36.
You know, the one thing I see with Minnesota this year, Tony, is it seems like they enjoy the games like last week. Like they never want to take charge of the game early on.
Yeah, it just seems like they're in a little bit slow motion right now. We talked about it during the break. It's, you know, I don't know if it's effort or just they're not into the game yet, but they better get into this game like ASAP. Because, you know, if you wait to the 4th quarter, you don't know how far you're going to be out of the game. You can't expect Brett or, you know, the receivers going to pull you out of this game.
Second down and 5. It's Peterson again. Gage 2, and Brett Favre loves playing here at Soldier Field. This is his 17th game in this stadium. He's 23-11 lifetime against the Bears. 13-4 on the road, which includes one game in Champaign during the renovations. So, much of the success, of course, coming with the Green Bay Packers, who's lost 3 of his last 4 here. Third down and 4. Vikings must get to the 41 for a first down. And the pass is intended for Shanko. Danielle Manning on the coverage. Vikings send out the punting unit.
That's a nice matchup by Chicago right there. Put your safety on Visanthe Shanko. I mean, he really is the guy that Brett Favre is most comfortable with. He had a great fourth quarter last week against Arizona.
Devin Hester waiting back at his own 20-yard line. Chris Kluwe has not allowed a return of more than 9 yards on a punt this season. Terrific job by Kluwe, the reigning NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Punt out of bounds at the 7. 56-yard kick. Bears lead the Vikings here in Chicago 7-3. Coming up next, our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues with America's Game of the Week as the Giants host the Dallas Cowboys in Jason Garrett's head coaching debut. Some of you will see the Rams and 49ers or the Seahawks and the Cardinals. America's Game of the Week coming up following the Bears and the Vikings on Fox. Bears start from their own 7-yard line as Forte takes it out to the 13. Finally brought down by Ben Lieber, gain of 6.
Hey, Darryl, you know, you living down in Dallas, talking about the game of the week. What do you think is going to happen down there?
I tell you, the thing that I'm most interested in, Tony, is seeing the starting lineups. And I want to see who's there this week that wasn't there last week. There's a couple of people I think the Dallas Cowboy fans are going to be checking to see if they're a part of that starting lineup.
Jason Garrett, you know, I saw him in his press conference, and he looked like, you know, he was all business. Is that the kind of guy he is?
Absolutely. In pads on Wednesday for the first time since training camp.
Second down and 4. It's Forte again. Out to the 15-yard line as we send it west once again. Kurt Menefee.
Jets and Browns tied at 10 in the second quarter. Colt McCoy hooking up with Josh Cribbs. He turns on the Jets, but doesn't quite get in. 37 yards, sets up a field goal, and the Browns lead it by 3 in the second quarter. Can you listen to this?
Eric Mangini against his former club. Now the Bears, worst in the league this season, guys, on third down, but today they are 5 for 7. Third down and 2. Cutler in trouble. Penalty marker is down as Cutler is forced out of bounds by Jared Allen at the 15-yard line. No gain on the play for Cutler, so Tony Corrente looking over.
Number 73. This penalty is declined. The result of the play, 4th down.
Vikings decline the penalty. Bears will punt on 4th and 2.
Well, Jamarcus Webb should block like he did in that last play we showed, turning his back around. This time he gets caught with his hands outside the pocket there a little bit on the guy's shoulder pads, and he's going to get called for that every time.
Brad Maynard back at the 1-yard line. Greg Camarillo waiting at the 40 for the Vikings. Low snap. Maynard gets the kick away. Camarillo lets it bounce out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Terrific field position for the Minnesota Vikings. Only a 38-yard punt. Well, Fox Wednesday, it's the season premiere of Human Target. The man who will guard your life with his own is getting a little backup. When your life is on the line, they're the team to call. Human Target, season premiere Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
We were talking about the wind and what it can do in the course of the game. Tony talked about the short little passes, but just there on that snap, back to Brad Maynard. I mean, he had to go down and get that ball. It looked like the wind even had a big impact on that long snap.
That was very close to being a disaster for the Bears.
Brett Favre today 6 for 6 throwing with the wind. He's 1 for 3 against the wind here in the second quarter. Vikings start from the 47-yard line. Favre throwing into the wind, and Percy Harvin makes the catch for a Vikings touchdown. 53 yards.
Do your job on the football field. Just do your job. And I think what we're going to have here is a case of Tim Jennings.
He's all fired up, man.
Taking his eyes off his guy. Let's see what happens down here at the bottom. He points to him. He's not mine anymore. Come on, Chris. Chris Harris, that's your guy.
Brett Favre does a great job also working that pocket. He was in the pocket. It was collapsing a little bit. He moved to the outside, getting a little extra time to see Percy Harvin downfield.
4th touchdown reception for Harvin this season. Longwell, the extra point. 10th touchdown pass for Favre, 507th of his career.
I think it's a good play fake by Adrian, and as you pointed out, Tony, just buys a little bit of time. And I don't know, it's Percy Harvin. The injuries on this team, he didn't activate Sidney Rice. Bernard Berrien aggravates his groin before the game starts. He's not been on the field yet. So really, you got Percy Harvin. Just don't let him be the guy that beats you. Brett's has got to be careful here.
Yeah, he gets all fired up.
Jeff Dugan is the human target.
I think that was supposed to be a belly bump, and it wound up being a little bit more than that.
Longest pass play for the Vikings this season.
You talked about Percy Harvin earlier, Moose. I was astonished when we talked to Brett in the meetings, and he said, the first time he saw Percy Harvin this week was on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys haven't worked together all day, but it seems like when they get there on game day that they have something special between them.
Short kickoff taken at the 19-yard line. Out across the 40, midfield. Rasheed Davis on the return.
What a great job by Rasheed Davis. The worst thing you can let happen on a low kick ball is to let it hit the ground. Now you never know where it's going to go. He runs over, picks it right off the top of the turf, and he hits it on the fly. And then just a great effort afterwards with the run. What a nice job.
Did you see Israel Adonijah out there?
Well, that's how he got his start. That's awesome. Here's a guy who gets his start playing special teams. Now he's a starter in the D-line, but he's still out there on kick return.
A 32-yard return by Rasheed Davis. Cutler swings it out to Matt Forte. And Forte takes it inside the 40 to the 39, close to a first down.
The defense out here, Tony, last week they were in sync. They would force a 3 and out, and then the Vikings offense would step on the field and go down and score points. They did that on that last transaction. They came out, they had a good stop when the punting team backed up Chicago. They gave their offense great field position, one plane down the field. And now it looks like it's Chicago's turn. They're trying to follow up a great special teams play with a nice offensive series.
Second down and 1, movement prior to the snap.
You better wait for your big guys to get around you before you start shoving.
Olin Kreutz is going to get in there. You don't like
absolutely,
that.
Absolutely. He's already waving them back.
False start, offense number 73, the right tackle. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
He should have threw that flag a little earlier. Looks like he jumped and then it tried to get reset.
I don't even know if the Troy Guion initiated contact with Jay Cutler. Looks like Jay was the guy who said, back up, man, this is my space. Your guys around you love that, when your quarterback's got that competitive instinct in him.
Second down and 6. Cutler off his back foot looking for Olsen. He scored the Bears touchdown on Chicago's last possession. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Well, Jamarcus Webb on that last play, he got away with another one. Well, he had a hold on that play, but Olsen was looking for the ball downfield. Don't really expect that ball sometimes down when you have 2 guys around you like that.
Yeah, that's one of those decisions Jay Cutler's got to make sure on that one. That was a little dangerous.
Cutler on 3rd and 6. The slant is caught at the 35-yard line for a first down by Johnny Knox. Gain of 10, and that takes us to the 2-minute warning in Chicago. Two minutes remaining, first half. Vikings lead 10-7. Bears on the move from the Minnesota 35. Cutler rolling right, penalty marker down. As Cutler runs for the sidelines and is out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
He was a lot quicker than I thought.
Personal foul, chop block, offense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That is the 7th Chicago Bears penalty.
Brendan Manamaliuna. You see the guy down now. What that is the chop block. If you're engaged at the top, you can't have one of your teammates go low. But Brandon Manamaliuna was not engaged with Ray Edwards up top when Matt Forte slipped. That wasn't an actual design block that way.
So the penalty forces the Bears all the way back to midfield. First down and 25. Cutler chased by Edwards. Now he throws wide open at the 35-yard line, and taking it down to the 32 for a gain of 18 is Johnny Knox.
Well, Jay Cutler has done a really nice job all afternoon with his feet. Ray Edwards right now has got Jamarcus Webb's number. He's getting around him quick, flushes him out to his right, but eyes down the field.
Yeah, those defensive backs got to hug up a little bit. They know Cutler's getting to the outside, getting a little bit more time. Run to the ball, too.
That's a lot of room down there in that coverage. That's a soft spot in that zone that Johnny Knox found.
Bears have 2 timeouts remaining. Second down and 7. The end around to Bennett. Earl Bennett knocked out of bounds at the 28 by Antoine Winfield. Bennett gains 4. So a 3rd down and 3 coming up. Following this second quarter, it's the Visa Halftime Report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They'll be along with scores and highlights. Are the Tampa Bay Bucks for real? And are the Bills on track for their first victory? It's all coming up during the Visa Halftime Report.
Well, it's been a tough stretch for the Buffalo Bills. They're getting close every week, but they just can't find a way to win a game at the end.
Facing the Lions today, 3rd down and 3. Cutler's pass is caught for a first down by Chester Taylor. So with 57 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts, a new set of downs for Chicago.
Surprising, Goose. I mean, on 3rd down, Minnesota's defense, and we've talked about it during the course of the last 2 weeks with them, they need to make a stop every once in a while. You would think against Chicago, the worst team in the NFL, converting 3rd downs, they'd be able to get off the field.
Yeah, but they're not getting pressure. They got to change something up. I mean, they're trying to rush 4 guys, but nobody's getting there against just 5 offensive linemen.
And the Bears have 7 for 10 on 3rd downs today. Cutler, incomplete, sailed through the hands of Bennett.
You know, if you're not getting pressure with those 4 guys, you got to find a way to bring somebody else, because you're really stringing your defensive backs out there. I mean, look at Jay Cutler. I mean, he's not moving. You know, we saw him move a couple plays and gain a little bit extra time, but he's not getting anything in his face. It's in his face that really will affect him. You got to get a little push up there and make it easier for guys like Jared Allen right there to come around that corner. Because when he's coming around the corner, he's able to step up and just move a little bit to get out of their way. So they're going to rush 4 again right here.
Three receivers plus the tight end Olsen. Butler on 2nd and 10, complete to Hester. Inside the 5, he dives, touchdown! Tony Corrente is going to take a look at it. This is a booth review in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Right now, Mike Martz is doing a good job of anticipating. Your pressure is going to come from here, and you're going to get that zone scheme where the defensive lineman drops out into an area. And Devin Hester comes right into that spot. Ray Edwards is on the ground. Now the question is, was the knee on the ground before he broke the plane?
Had gone into the end zone prior to contacting the ground.
I think he got in.
Now remember, it's called a touchdown on the field, so you're going to have something definitive to change it.
Looks like his left elbow hits, but where was the ball when his left elbow or right elbow hits? Well, it's his left elbow. Boom, right there. I don't know if it crossed the plane.
It looked like it was a little bit short right there. It looks like they could put it on the. They could put it on literally like the 2-inch line.
So it will either remain a touchdown or it will be 1st and goal from, as Darryl said, the 2-inch line.
And now remember, you've got a camera angle that's not straight down the line, and we've seen some of those before where we've seen plays not overturned. The most important thing to remember, call on the field is touchdown. So you've got to have that definitive angle to overrule that. That could be your best shot right there.
Well, let's bring in the former vice president of officiating from our Fox Command Center in Los Angeles, Mike Pereira. Mike, you had a look at the last couple of replays. What do you think?
Stand by, guys, quiet.
Hey, these are so close, but the left elbow is down. The ball looks to have broke the plane. I think he's got to stay with this call. Touchdown will stand.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
We brought you on, Mike, just to try and get you out of your rhythm there. What are you like now, 34 for 34 or something this year? We're just trying to break the streak.
My time is coming.
We were just trying to break the streak on you.
My time is coming.
I think he was talking to Tony
every
Corrente.
time.
Were you talking to Tony Corrente in that booth? Does that booth go right to you, Mike?
I got him right in my ear, Goose. He's in my ear.
So Mike Pereira's perfect record remains intact. Robbie Gould adds the extra point. And with 44 seconds remaining in the second quarter, the Bears now lead 14-10.
Well, it's just amazing to watch this Minnesota team. When there's an opportunity to kind of take hold of the game, they're not able to do it. And, you know, they talk about the ball not bouncing their way. And that was the same thing that Lovie Smith told us. You know, sometimes we're not getting the breaks that we've had in the past. Well, you create your own luck. And that play by Rasheed Davis on the kickoff return to give him the ball out near midfield, and then Jay Cutler just takes his offense out and goes right down the field. So really good job right there for the Chicago Bears with their special teams and their offense working in conjunction.
32-yard return by Rasheed Davis out to midfield, leading to the Devin Hester touchdown.
Nice play call, too, by Mike Martz. You get that pressure. We've seen that blitz a couple of times now where you've got Chad Greenway and Mediu Williams coming in from the offensive left side. You're going to drop Ray Edwards out on that zone blitz scheme. You drop that defensive lineman into an area, and they ran Devin Hester right into that spot.
Vikings have all three of their timeouts. Here's Harvin on the return for Minnesota, and Percy Harvin takes it out across the 35 to the 36-yard line before he was finally tackled by Nick Roach. A 33-yard return by Harvin. So the Vikings offense comes out with 39 seconds remaining. Favre 8 for 10. One touchdown pass to Harvin. Adrian Peterson with 37 yards on the ground. So Minnesota must go approximately 35 yards to get into field goal range for Longwell, who would be kicking into the wind. Favre to Peterson. Peterson out to the 41. And the Vikings forced to use their first timeout as Peterson did not get out of bounds. Vikings with 2 timeouts remaining.
I'll go back and get you caught up here in the first half. Greg Olsen, after having a screen touchdown taken away from him, comes back on the next play with a nice catch. And Brett Favre ad-libs a little bit. They get Percy Harvin behind him. And then here's our last one, Devin Hester. Nice catch and run, lunge at the goal line, breaks the plane.
Getting some big gusts down here on the field here. Down my monitor almost flew over in that last one. Look out. So the wind is definitely picking up.
So Longwell getting ready. Second down and 6. 2 timeouts for the Vikings. Favre swings it out.
Ooh.
And after it deflected away from Peterson, it was nearly intercepted by DJ Moore.
He almost popped that one right up to DJ Moore.
I think the wind kept it away from DJ. Third down and 6. Favre from the shotgun. Favre in trouble, steps up. Ball comes loose. And the Bears have it.
Critical situation for Brett Favre. Understand what's going on in the game. The one thing you can't have is the turnover. Now, this is a great effort. He's going to work his way through this whole mess. I don't know how he stays alive, but now you got to squeeze that ball. I don't know if I've seen a team over the years coached as well at attacking the football than the Chicago Bears. Henry Melton's coming in. He's going to make a tackle, but he's also going to go after the football.
That's hustle. The reason why they got that ball is because they're all running to the ball. The ball's on the ground. Your odds are better when you have more guys around the ball. And that's exactly why these Bears go and get turnovers.
Bears with 2 timeouts. Down to the 36, Chester Taylor. Bears use their second timeout with 11 seconds remaining following the turnover. The league-leading 5th lost fumble by Favre this season. He was stripped by Melton. Tommy Harris on the recovery, and he's committed 34 turnovers in 24 career games, Darryl, against Lovie Smith teams. Lovie was in Tampa as an assistant, then the coordinator in St. Louis, and now the head coach in Chicago.
And we talked with Brian Urlacher also, and he said, "Now I love playing against Brett Favre because he will give you that opportunity. He does. He has that confidence. Everybody talks about his gunslinger mentality." But you have to be conscious. You have to understand how that Bear defense is coached to attack the football.
On the 36, 2nd and 5. Butler to the near side. Devin Hester makes the catch at the 25-yard line.
This is their 3rd and final timeout.
Bears use their final timeout. Nice catch by Hester. And that reception will set up a 43-yard attempt for Robbie Gould.
Now that was a real nice catch by Devin Hester, but if Jay Cutler can get that ball up to him so he can catch it on his feet, spinning it out of bounds, they may have had the opportunity to take a shot into the end zone, but sitting at 6 seconds with no timeouts, the Bears forced him to try a field goal attempt.
I talked to Robbie Gould before the game, and he said that this end zone going this way with a little wind in his back, he's good at 53. So we'll see what happens here.
It's a 43-yard attempt from the left hash. And the kick by Gould is no good. Just wide to the left. So the Bears unable to capitalize on the Minnesota Vikings turnover. And the score remains 14-10 Chicago.
That's plenty of distance right there, Tony.
Yeah, it looked like he was aiming out towards the right-hand side, but the wind, he underestimated the wind. It looks like it went all the way across. He had the distance, though.
So both field goal kickers have missed one today. Favre takes an 8, and the Chicago Bears will take a 4-point lead into the locker room at halftime.
Really, the big thing in that first half was some special teams plays. You know, great job by Chris Kluwe with his punt down that gave the Viking offense good field position, and Rasheed Davis with a real heads-up play on kickoff return to give Chicago good field possession to get one of their touchdowns.
So the Bears lead by 4. We will return to Chicago right after these messages. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. We get set for the start of the second half with the Bears leading the Vikings 14-10. We've gained 3 degrees now up to 47.
The big thing has been the wind. You know, the guys are going to be used to playing in the weather, but this wind is, as we can see right now, is been a little troublesome so far today.
Ball has blown off Robbie Gould's tee twice.
Also, the playing surface, you can see there right where the ball's being laid down. This grass is thick right now, and I think that's really affecting the pass rush of the Minnesota Vikings because they're not used to playing on regular grass. They like that artificial turf, and I think that's something they got to address here in the second half.
David's in with a shot goose. Marvin brings it out to the 18-yard line in this 99th all-time meeting between the Vikings and the Bears. And would you call it a typical Vikings-Bears first half?
Absolutely, absolutely. And what we just saw there on that kickoff is kind of what I'm looking for in the second half. Where does the ball start bouncing? Which team does it help out? Right there, Robbie Gould. A kickoff that I think is going to go out of bounds. All of a sudden it turns back into the middle of the field. Percy Harvin's got to pick it up. They get the ball inside the 20-yard line. Those are the little types of breaks that you need when you're talking about divisional games. And right now, which team is going to step forward and start creating some of their own luck here in the second half?
Vikings start from their own 18-yard line, and Adrian Peterson is tackled back at the 15. 37 yards on the ground in the first half for Peterson, and Julius Peppers brings him down for a loss of 3.
You've got to be able to find some running lanes, and Julius Peppers, his numbers are down rushing the passer. He doesn't have the sacks, but he's doing so many other different things, and right there, you got to help Visante Shanko. To ask him to block on the edge against Julius Peppers on a running play is a tough assignment.
5 out of the shotgun on second down, and the pass deflected by Adonijay and picked off by DJ Moore. His 4th interception this season.
Well, we talked about getting your hands up and tipping balls. This is exactly what happens, especially with wind gusts that are happening down here on the field.
Well, you know, Goose, sometimes you're so focused here, you forget about your other guy who's going to be in a one-on-one. Look at all the guys that are over there around Julius Peppers. That puts Israel Adonijay in a one-on-one situation with Bryant McKinney. He gets in, gets the hand up, deflects the pass, and it's a turnover. So those are the little things that Julius Peppers has done. Does he have the sack numbers that Chicago expected? No. But is he playing the game at a very high level? Absolutely. Against the run, he's helping other people out.
Oh, what a tackle by Pat Williams on Matt Forte.
You know, and I had a chance to talk with Brad Childress going in and asked him about his defense of not getting pressure, you know, on the quarterback. And one thing he said is we got to get more out of our inside tackles. We need push when it's pass, and we need them guys to go and get some push also when it's run. So right there you see Pat Williams going and penetrating. Hopefully he'll be able to get that done here in the second half.
Brad Childress returning home, grew up in Aurora, Illinois, 30 miles west of Chicago. He was a big Bears fan. Began his coaching career at the University of Illinois. Cutler to the end zone, and a diving attempt is made by Earl Bennett.
Really surprised no flag on that play.
Yeah.
Kevin Williams right over the middle.
He is staring at Tony Corrente right now. Watch Kevin Williams, 93.
Yeah. I mean, he goes, boom. I mean,
takedown.
Yeah, that's a takedown. I mean, Tony missed that one. Wow. If he catches that ball, that's a touchdown.
Cutler on third down, steps up, and now he throws out of bounds to Bennett. And a flag was thrown. Looked like Cutler was in front of the line of scrimmage when he got rid of the football.
I think he is. And again, Tony, right there, it's what you were just talking about. Jay Cutler has made a lot of plays today with his feet, and a lot of it's because he has the ability to step up and then move around. Those tackles are not collapsing the pocket backwards.
Yeah, Kevin's doing a good job. He got pressure on those last two plays, but those ends, you got to run to the ball.
Pass from beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Carries the loss of down. 4th down.
So the blue line is actually the line of scrimmage. You'll see Jay Cutler drop back here. And as he scrambles forward, he crosses that blue line before he releases the ball right there.
Just a bit.
That's it. That was close. Not.
I tell you what, that's a heck of a response by the Minnesota defense on that turnover deep in their end of the field.
Well, they responded. You know, we saw that last week, Darryl, also, you know, in the second half, but I'm surprised they didn't do that in the first half.
So Gold setting up for a 34-yard attempt. As you saw, he has made 55 in a row from inside 40.
The penalty is enforced from the spot of the pass, which is where the quarterback threw the ball from.
So the line of scrimmage, the 16-yard line, the holder Maynard setting up back at the 24. Gold missed from 43 at the end of the first half. From 34 yards out, his kick is straight through.
That's a nice job by this Minnesota defense, dodging a bullet right here. Interception by DJ Moore, but they only get 3.
Michigan Avenue very busy this weekend.
Very wet this weekend.
No precipitation today. Here's Harvin out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. 25 yards on the return, so Brett Favre, who committed his second turnover on the last Vikings possession, leads the Minnesota offense back out.
Well, you know, it's going to go on Brett Favre, but it's, you know, you got to give a little bit to Brian McKinney. It's a good play by Israel Adonijah, and then again, we pointed out Julius Peppers. You focus on him; he draws so much attention.
Vikings start from the 32-yard line. The handoff to Peterson. And Peterson takes it out to the 36. Gain of 4. Pisatino Samoa made the tackle.
I'll tell you what, Adrian Peterson, the hidden yardage that he has, which is the yardage after your first contact by a defensive player, is unbelievable. I mean, he got hit 3 yards before where they're placing the ball right now, and just drives his legs and gets that extra yardage and puts his team in a situation instead of, you know, 3rd or 2nd and 6, there's, you know, it could have been 2nd and 9 very easily.
Here's Peterson again, Goose. He has had some huge games against the Bears. He's close to a first down. During his rookie season here at Soldier Field, he ran for 224 yards.
You know, I think the big thing that I've seen from Adrian Peterson this year is his focus on not turning the ball over. He had some fumbles last year. This was going to be a big test for him. The Chicago Bears are drilled as good as anybody. Look how tight it is to the body. The one thing he would do from time to time is kind of stretch out right there at the end. He understands that Chicago practices stripping the ball. He's been very good so far today.
229 touches without a fumble. the 42. Peterson, Favre's pass is incomplete off the hands of Greg Lewis.
Again, this is just some of that growing pains that you're going to go through, quarterback, wide receiver. You can see Brian Urlacher running to Greg Lewis. So Brett can't put it into the middle. He's got to throw it on the back. Greg has got to see that. He's got to see Brian dropping back into that zone and understand that his quarterback can't put the ball where it was drawn up to go. You've got to make that subtle adjustment.
Second down and 10. It's Peterson. Looks to cut it back inside. And a flag is thrown after Peterson's tackled at the 39.
Matt Choina, number 75, wrecked that play early on.
That's penetration from a defensive line right there on that play. Adams, Tonia.
Illegal block in the back, offense number 74. This penalty is declined. The result of the play, third down.
That's on the left tackle, Brian McKinney.
See it at the top of your screen right there. You can't push in the back. That's McKinney trying to go on Brock Peppers, but that's illegal. That's an illegal block. No, it didn't look like much, but you can't do that.
You know, and it's at the end of the play. It's like the Olin Kreutz one we saw in the first half when Greg Olsen had the touchdown on the screen. If he just doesn't pull him down at the end.
Vikings want the play clock pumped back up.
The question was about the enforcement of the penalty or the declination. The penalty was declined, third down.
Third down and 13. Empty backfield. Vikings have not converted a third down today. They must get to the Bears' 48. Favre on third and 13. It is complete. But Vasante Shenko is tackled at the 49, 3 yards shy of the marker as we send it west. And Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
You guys complaining about the win. Folks in Buffalo will take that right now. Bills still looking for that first win of the season. Hosting Detroit, Ryan Fitzpatrick. That little shovel pass to the guy out of my alma mater, Cole College. See the Athens, Iowa. Fred Jackson's second touchdown of the day. And the Bills lead at 14-3 in the third quarter. Kenny?
Kurt, the Bills, who lost to the Bears in Toronto last week by 3, 22-19. Here's Hester diving forward to the 23-yard line. So the Bears, with a 7-point lead, will send their offense back onto the field early in the third. Back in Chicago, with the Bears leading by 7. With producer Barry Landis, director Michael Frank, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa.
Those little orange things in that helmet are the communications that the coach has with the quarterback.
Cutler handing it off to Forte, and he's tackled by E.J. Henderson, gain of just 1. Cutler, 2 touchdown passes in the second quarter. One to Greg Olsen, the other to Devin Hester.
Tell you what, Jay Cutler's very poised in the pocket today, Darryl. He's doing everything he needs to do. Ran for a first down early in the game to keep drives going. This offensive line believes in this guy.
And that's the difference right now. You heard the guys in the pregame show at halftime talk about it. It's the performance on third down. Chicago's good. Minnesota's not so good.
Cutler on 2nd and 9, under pressure that time. And the pass was incomplete, intended for Devin Aromashadu.
But in the first half, Jay Cutler was able to step up and then move to his right. And right here, when he goes to step up, there they are. There's Kevin and Pat Williams right there. They've maintained their lanes. He can't continue to step up and actually has to move to his left.
Ray Edwards had a great rush on the outside. He's just got to finish. He was by the right tackle, Jamarcus Webb, but he's just got to go and find the quarterback. Turn him down.
And it looked like Jared Allen got a piece of that throw by Cutler. Now third down and 9. Empty backfield for the Bears. Cutler in trouble. Down he goes back at the 15-yard line. Sacked for the first time today. It's Jared Allen, who had 2.5 sacks last week against Arizona.
Well, this is the pressure when you think of the Minnesota Vikings defensive line that you're going to get with 4-man rush. Jared Allen right here, a little bull rush, swim move to the inside, knowing that Jay Cutler's going to be in that pocket. I mean, and all of them have to work together. Two guys just can't rush. See all four of them, how they're closing that pocket in? You got to work together when you're with the defense line if you're expecting to get any kind of sacks or pressure up front.
Now Maynard punted from his own 7-yard line. Out of bounds at the 30, at the 43-yard line. So terrific field position for the Vikings. Jared Allen with the sack on third down. Had only one sack over the first 7 games. Now 3.5 the last 2 games.
Yeah, but they got the good thing about today is they're getting them, you know, earlier in the game. They did a great job at the end last week against Arizona, but Tony's been pointing out in the first half that they weren't getting there. Something was said at halftime. This defense has played much better.
And now Favre firing downfield, intended for Harvin. There's a flag. Contact by Danielle Manning.
That was a great sell right there by Percy Harvin. He knows that the defender's right in front of him, and he comes back. Daniel Manning. Watch this right here.
Pass interference, defense number 38. Automatic first down.
Daniel Manning was just about to get his head around, too. The underthrown long ball, when you're in that trailing position and you're running, you're so worried about catching up to the receiver. And then when it's underthrown and he has to work his way back, you almost always get that contact for the pass interference.
He was calling for the flag before he got up off the ground.
Vikings gained 42 yards on the penalty. From the Bears' 15. Favre to the outside. Intended for Harvin. Remember, Bernard Berrien is now in street clothes. No Sidney Rice. So Favre without one of his starting receivers. There's Rice, who the Vikings hope to have back next week. Berrien active for today's game, but re-aggravated the groin, so he is out. Second and 10 from the 15-yard line. Adrian Peterson.
Look at that Bears defense.
Tony, I know you're going to like this. Well, you know what it is. You saw the wham play coming, so there was communication there to alert the guys inside about what was coming from Jeff Dugan.
Yeah, that wham play, that little short motion inside, trying to get those defensive tackles, not realizing that that block is coming from the outside, but just the aggressiveness of this Bears defense. You know, the first guy goes and wraps up there. All 11 guys are moving, running to the ball. Very impressed with this defense today.
Vikings 0 for 5 on third down. Favre fires, deflected off the fingertips of Camarillo, and then nearly intercepted by Major Wright. So the Vikings cannot convert, and they send out the field goal unit.
Brett put this ball exactly where it needs to be. That's a catchable ball right there, in my opinion, Darryl.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely a catchable ball, but a ton of zip on it, Tony. You saw that. Well, he put everything he had into that one.
Well, the wind wasn't going to affect that throw. He made sure of that.
Remember what Brian Urlacher told us? He said Brett still throws as hard as he ever has.
Oh.
Got a cannon.
That was the pass he threw to Yukas.
My hands are still stinging there, Kenny.
33-yard attempt, Ryan Longwell. The kick is straight through. So the Vikings have cut the Bears' lead to 4. This is one of the more creative signs we've seen, although Favre's name is not spelled correctly. It's F-A-V-R-E.
Well, you gotta, they were so worried about the drawing here and making the Coliseum look authentic that their spelling just got a little out of whack.
He's played in a lot of stadiums.
You want everything, Kenny?
Here's Hester. Devin Hester out across the 40, across midfield, and he is finally tackled at the 35-yard line of the Vikings by Jasper Brinkley. A 67-yard return by Devin Hester.
I don't know why people choose to kick the ball to this guy.
Well, and he did everything wrong, too. He's backpedaling. He's in the end zone, but he is so good at setting everything up. He comes straight up the field and then breaks to the right. And one of the greatest things Devin Hester does as a returner is putting his body in a position where his blockers can now get on track to make him a block.
Here's Chester Taylor on first down. Taylor gains 5 to the Vikings 29. This is the 4th time in the last 5 possessions for the Bears that they have started in Minnesota territory.
And you got to credit the special teams of the Chicago Bears. I mean, and Minnesota's group had been performing well, you know, during the course of the season. So they're doing it against a good unit. Special teams has been huge today.
Bears have scored 10 points on their previous 3 drives when they started across the 50. Here's Taylor, and he's unable to break away from Chad Greenway as we check in once again for another game break with Kurt.
Once down 17-3 to start the second half. Houston's mounted to come back in Jacksonville. Matt Shaw hooking up with Andre Johnson, 9-yard score. Evens the count at 17 apiece as they start the 4th quarter. Getting loose and goose.
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. Texans looking to end a 2-game losing streak. Bears have gained only 7 yards on their last 12 plays. 3rd down and 7. Cutler moving to his right. And he throws, and the catch is made at the 22-yard line for a first down by Devin Aromashadu. So the Bears continue to excel on 3rd down today.
Again, just very, very poised in the pocket. They run the little twist inside, so that means there's nobody with the contain on the outside. Jay's able to move out to the right. Devin Aromashadu makes a nice adjustment right there. Comes back to help out his quarterback.
So the Bears last in the league coming into the game, 8 for 12 today on 3rd down. From the 22, off the play fake, here comes Jared Allen. Butler gets rid of it just in the nick of time to Chester Taylor for a game of 2.
Jared Allen would have had that sack if they would have had some push up the middle, which they didn't in that particular play. Jared Allen, he does a great job of coming around the corner. You see it at the top of your screen. Goes, nice chop block, boom, he's there. But Jay's, see that little shuffle forward? If he can do that, he's going to go and change the angle for Jared Allen, and he's not going to get the sack like you saw. Very important for those guys up in the middle there to go and get some push.
2nd down and 8. Butler moving to his right. He throws. And this one is nearly intercepted by Hussein Abdullah, who had a pick earlier.
Again, being able to extend this play. Greg Olsen, clean release down the field. Put in a good spot, though. Hussein Abdullah, I don't know if he was trying to bait Jay Cutler into that throw. But if he throws that ball up high, that's going to be intercepted.
Four receiver set, including the tight end Olsen. 3rd down and 8. Cutler to the end zone, but Bennett turned the other way.
Jay Cutler's got a little bit of pressure on the back, and that gets Earl Bennett turned around on the outside. Little stutter go. You're working on this all week. And I think the accuracy was impacted by the rush. Kind of saw Olin Kreutz as they were walking off the field talking to the other guys. I don't think they had that protection sorted out well.
Gold 1 for 2 today. This a 37-yard attempt from the right hash. And the kick is good. So the Bears once again lead by a touchdown. 20-13. Back in Chicago, where the Bears lead by a touchdown. With a win, the Bears would move into a tie for first place in the NFC North with the idle Green Bay Packers. Packers in their bye week will face the Vikings in Minneapolis next Sunday. Harvin out to the 31. You know, to put in perspective what Brett Favre and the Vikings did last week as we check out his numbers since the 7-for-7 start. As a starter, Favre had never come back from a fourth quarter deficit of as many as 14 points. Did it for the first time in his career last week.
And inside of 4 minutes. At that time, he even mentioned to us, I didn't know if we could do it. Not at that time. And it's just unbelievable how the whole team came together at the end of that game and was able to pull that out.
They trail this game by only 7. From the 31. Off the play fake to Peterson. Favre looking for Peterson, but he could not hang on.
He's not getting much help from his receivers right now. Brian Urlacher, look at him read that. Plays it perfectly. The big play is going to happen if Adrian Peterson sells you on the flat route and then breaks back to the middle of the field. Brian Urlacher played it with great leverage.
Urlacher and Favre meeting for the 16th time. On 2nd and 10, Peterson tripped up. Not much. Henry Melton with the penetration.
Julius Peppers down at the bottom. Forces it back inside. Makes Adrian Peterson get back inside. He never gets enough credit for his play against the run. We always think of him as the pass rusher, but he's been excellent against the run this season.
Well, that gets him in situations like 3rd and 10. I mean, this is exactly where he wants to be.
Empty backfield. Favre spins, stays on his feet and throws, and it's off the hand of Greg Lewis.
The thing I've always been amazed by Brett Favre is how he's able to keep his eyes down the field with all the chaos around him in the pocket. You look at he just pops his head up and he's able to find his receiver in a fraction of a second and get the ball downfield to have an opportunity to make a play. He just does a tremendous job with his eyes down the field as he scrambles.
Louis punting from his own 20. Angling it towards the sideline, taken out to 21 by Hester. And this is the best punt return against the Vikings this season. They have not allowed a punt return of more than 9 yards. This one goes for 42.
Darryl, you talked about it in the first half. It's all about blocking and tackling. And that's not what the Minnesota Vikings do here. Devin Hester has a great job of going getting the ball downfield, but watch all the missed tackles.
Well, great blocking too, Tony. I mean, you can't ask Chris Kluwe to do that any better. I mean, he directionally kicks. He puts it 2 yards from the sideline. You're squeezing Devin Hester. But Chicago, a great adjustment on a directional kick. They get their guys there. They get the blocks. They allow Devin Hester to run with it.
This is a different team on grass, this grass surface, Darryl. In my opinion, the Minnesota Vikings are so used to that AstroTurf and the speed that it gives you that right here on grass, they look like their feet are in concrete.
Forte to the 32-yard line. Gain of 5 as the Bears start in Minnesota territory for the 5th time in their last 6 possessions.
That is unbelievable. You know, what a credit to Chicago and their special teams group today.
Absolutely. And they are coming off, they're hitting people. They know that they're going to do something big.
Some huge returns by Hester. Second down and 5. It's Forte again. Has a first down. At Forte for the Vikings, 23. Gain of 9.
Well, they haven't taken advantage of those opportunities yet, Kenny. You talked about 5 of their last 6 drives starting in Minnesota territory, but they're not getting that productivity out. It's just the 13 points. They're kicking field goals right now. I mean, after you watched what happened to Minnesota last week, the last thing you want to do is not take advantage of your opportunities and leave them. And we saw last week 2 possessions. Even in a 2-possession game with 4 minutes left, they were able to pull it out.
3 wide receivers from the 23. Cutler gets rid of it quickly to Hester. And Hester takes it down to the 15. There is a flag. Penalty marker back at the 22-yard line.
The ball looked like it was out.
tackle by Ray Edwards. There's a penalty marker on the play. What'd you do, buddy?
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 57. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That's Olin Kreutz again. It's the Bears' 10th penalty as Hester remains down.
Olin Kreutz is going to be coming from the left side of your screen. He's the center coming out to get the block right here on Antoine Winfield, number 26. Again, Devin Hester is already moving to the outside. If you can pull up off these blocks, you know, once the guy turns his back to you, I know the game moves at a fast pace, but that's the second one that Olin Kreutz has taken a big penalty on a play that was not necessary.
The Romans should do it for Hester. First down at 19 from the 32-yard line. Here's Forte, slip, stays on his feet, and is tackled at the 31-yard line by E.J. Henderson.
Great job by E.J. Henderson, because you've got a power, which is a lead going to the other side. Watch 56 sort through this whole thing. He's reading the guards. He sees it going to the right. Now he's cutting back to the left. He moves through, finds his way through all that traffic to make the tackle. Great vision by E.J. Henderson.
And he had some help there by Ray Edwards, also staying home and waiting for that cutback.
Now on 2nd and 18. Cutler chased by Edwards. That's away from Williams. Now he throws, and the catch is made by Johnny Knox for a Bears first down inside the Vikings 10, a 22-yard pass play.
Jay Cutler took a shot right in the chest. See him dropping back here. Edwards getting some pressure on him. They're coming, but they gotta get him down. Took a helmet right in his chest.
Well, Jay Cutler and Johnny Knox have been great on the improv this afternoon. All their big plays have come when protection is broken down.
Knox averaging 18 yards per reception, 5 catches for 90 yards. First and goal from the 9. Forte up the middle. And gains 2 down to the 7-yard line. Again, it's Henderson on the tackle.
Looks like they're checking Devin Hester's shoulders. So he landed on his elbow on that last play.
Those return yards, almost 150 yards in returns today.
Not a guy you want to.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You focus your game plan on him, Tony.
Oof.
I mean, you've caught him in some situations that should be favorable to you.
He's a big part of your offense.
You just can't contain that guy.
Second and goal from the 8. Cutler, end zone, and Whitfield got a piece of it. Pass intended for Greg Olsen.
Jay Cutler trying to force that one in there.
It's a good job by Antoine Winfield, though. Getting that zone was actually
Pat Williams.
Tip first, yeah.
Kevin Williams.
Both guys, and then Whitfield.
Nice job of getting his hands up.
Now 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. Cutler looking left. Running away from Jared Allen. Now he throws to the end zone, and it is Abdullah who comes up with his 2nd interception of this game.
Oh, now they're trying to force it in there again, Jay Cutler.
Not with points on the line. You can't. Look at Mike Martz. It's just, you know, how many times have we seen that? You know, the one thing, Minnesota is allowing Jay Cutler to move to his right. You know, they are not containing him. They're letting him move to the side that's easiest for him to throw. I just don't know what Jay Cutler had saw on that play when he scrambled. Yeah, no, not that. The one thing you can't do, moving to your right, back into the middle of the field.
Yeah, he knows that was not the right move there.
So another missed opportunity for the Bears following the big punt return by Devin Hester. Here's Peterson.
Look at that Bears defense. Look at all them black jerseys.
That takes us, Goose, to the end of the 3rd quarter with the Bears leading by a touchdown. Jay Cutler has been intercepted twice by Hussein Abdullah today. First 2 interceptions of Abdullah's career. So the Bears clinging to a 7-point lead over the Vikings as we begin the fourth quarter. Second and 12 from the 18-yard line. Favre to Harvin, and he gains 4, and a late flag comes in. Lance Briggs made the tackle.
Pass interference, offense number 81. 10-yard penalty being enforced half the distance to the goal, second down.
It's on Visante Shanko, only the second Vikings penalty today. Bears have committed 10.
Well, one thing about this fourth quarter, Brett Favre and the Minnesota Vikings are going to have the wind in their face. So Brett throws anything, if he throws anything over 5 or 10 yards, that ball's going to float a little bit. So the advantage goes to the Chicago Bears defense.
Second down and 21. Favre to Peterson. And Peterson's tackled at the 14 by Lance Briggs.
They just do a great job with where they're dropping into and their progressions defensively, because it looked like Adrian Peterson had some running room when he caught that little flare.
Henry Melton does a great job of turning and running to the ball. 69, you see him pass rushing right there. Watch him run back and help in on the tackle right there. That's a great job by a defensive lineman, knowing that the ball was released, turning and getting involved in the play.
Vikings must get to the 30 for a first down. Third down and 16. Favre over the top, Harvin, and he's tackled at the 16-yard line. It is Briggs again, so the Vikings unable to capitalize on the turnover. They will punt it away.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago has been good all day long at their tackling. I mean, there is not a lot of yardage after the catch or a lot of yards after contact by this Bear defense. Rob Marinelli has done a great job getting his guys ready this week.
Another opportunity for Hester. Time he lets it bounce, and it was initially touched by Jasper Brinkley, so good field position for the Bears.
Yeah, they're just sorting this one out. It was touched. Kenny mentioned it was touched upfield. Initial spot was down where the ball ended up, and this crowd here in Chicago was not happy at all.
They're on their feet here screaming.
The ball will be spotted where it was touched by Jasper Brinkley at the 45-yard line.
Today's game is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Designed, tested, and proven to be the best trucks we've ever built. Ram. By State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by new Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. Turn shaving into gliding and skeptics into believers.
Bears start from their own 45-yard line. Here's Matt Forte into Vikings territory. Gain of 6 for Forte with 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter, with the Bears leading by 7.
There is definitely a difference right now in how these two teams are playing defense, Tony. There is room to run for Chicago in the running game.
Absolutely.
Chicago's defense has really played outstanding in this half. Minnesota has got to pick it up. I mean, Chicago has been moving up and down the field. There's only going to be so many times where they continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
Second down and 4, and Forte picks up a first down.
Let's take a look at what Chicago's offense has done today. Their special teams has put them in great positions to start their drives. Look at these 5 possessions starting in Minnesota territory that had the touchdown and a field goal. The interceptions, I mean, you can't do this all day long. Everybody's working hard. You get 13 points out of that. You always talk about getting points, but the turnover on that last possession was a huge mistake by Jay Cutler because it makes it a 2-possession game.
So only one touchdown in those 5 possessions, 13 points in all when they start in Minnesota territory. Forte bottled up. Gain of just 1.
Chicago doing a good job following up the performance last week against Buffalo, staying kind of balanced.
Second down and 9. Cutler getting rid of it quickly to Earl Bennett. And Bennett is tackled at the 40 by Antoine Winfield, gain of just 3.
Antoine Winfield recognized that really fast and got out there.
Johnny Knox limping off the field. So a 3rd down and 6 for Chicago. The Bears are at 57%, 8 of 14 on 3rd down today.
You wonder if they'll play this as 2-down territory right here, because you're kind of right on that cusp, even with the wind.
Cutler on 3rd and 6. And the catch is made by Rasheed Davis, who came into the game to replace the injured Johnny Knox. First catch of the season for Davis, good for 12 yards on a Bears 1st down.
Well, they didn't even need the 2nd down. Rasheed Davis just a little in and out route. That's what gets the separation, his ability to get in and out of that break quicker than Lito Shepherd. And a very interesting drop by Jay Cutler. I mean, just a straight back pedal back to a spot, threw kind of off the back foot.
Yeah, it was almost like he was in the air on a couple of the throws that we saw from him today.
I thought he was trying to set up a middle screen or something at the beginning of that, Tony.
Off the 28-yard line, off the play fake. Cutler throws, and it's complete to Bennett. Earl Bennett makes the catch just inside the Vikings' 20-yard line for a gain of 9.
Well, here's some better decisions by Jay Cutler here. He wants the big throw down the field. He's got Earl Bennett right away for a short gain, but he's going to hold on to the ball for a little bit longer. He's going to let that long route develop and then the intermediate route come across. It doesn't pan out, and he's able to drop it back down to Earl Bennett. So there's your good decision right there.
Bennett in motion. 2nd and 1, Chester Taylor.
Looks like he didn't get it.
He did a good job just to get close, Tony. There wasn't much inside where that play was designed to go. Quick decision to bounce it outside.
Take a look at Ray Edwards right here. Goes and holds it up. Comes off the block and makes a great tackle. Kenny, that yellow line is not official, right?
It is unofficial, Goose.
Thank you.
Taylor stops shy of that unofficial yellow line, so a 3rd and inches upcoming for the Bears, who lead by 7. Bears at 5 and 3. Half game behind the first place Packers. Vikings at 3 and 5.
Tough spot right here. You're thinking maybe a quarterback sneak, but this could be a pass. So you got to protect everything here. You just can't go thinking that they're going to go for that 1st down, like Moose said.
It will be a pass, and it's caught for a touchdown by Kellen Davis.
See, Darryl, defensive linemen do know a little bit about this game. You got to protect that pass. It's an easy opportunity for the Bears. When they have another down to go, they can go for the field goal. Still 2 possessions if they make the field goal, but this sort of puts a lot of pressure on that Minnesota Viking team.
That's a great play call, great play fake here. They get everybody to bite up on it. It wasn't even a real great sell by Kellen Davis. He was down the field real quick. He didn't try to fool anybody on a run. He just slipped by everybody.
Earlier in that drive, Rasheed Davis with his first reception of the season, and now Kellen Davis, no relation, his first reception of the season for a Bears touchdown.
Well,
He plays 55 yards.
Here's Kellen Davis right here. Usually you've got to at least show a little bit of a run fake to get this wide open. He runs right through everybody immediately. Nobody on that Viking defense picks him up.
Yeah, Ben Lieber was over the top of him. He's got to like engage him and start to squeeze him so he doesn't have that free release.
Harvin out to the 29. The ball came loose. Percy Harvin was stripped on the second half kickoff last week.
We got guys from Minnesota motioning their trainers to come in.
Bears have recovered. Corey Graham on the recovery. Harvin remains down.
Well, he talked about the fumble last week on the second half kickoff being that he felt like he was going to get bent up in the pile, and he tried to get his arm down to try and help himself. It looks like the same situation. He gets all tied up in there. There's the first hand on the ball as they start to pull. You see that left leg kind of get tucked underneath him.
Vikings have challenged the call on the field, which was a fumble committed by Percy Harvin on the return. We had a look at some of the replays during the commercial break, and it looked like Harvin's left knee was down.
Well, unfortunately, one of the reasons Percy's hurt, his knee is down right there. You can see he still has possession of the ball, and it comes out late. Now it's out, and he gets bent back on that left knee that was down.
He does a nice job of covering up with two hands.
He did a great job because Corey Graham had his hand on the ball right away and was trying to strip it out, and he kept that hand secure all the way down. Even as his leg was being bent backward awkwardly, he was able to maintain possession with the football.
Both offenses have come out onto the field.
We should make a rule where they have to stay that way for the next play.
That'd be really funny.
After reviewing the play, the Minnesota runner was down by contact at the 28-yard line. It'll be Minnesota's ball, 1st and 10 at the 28. With the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 8:34. 8:34. Thank you.
So Brad Childress wins the challenge. Viking trainers work on the left ankle of Percy Harvin, and the Vikings find themselves in a similar predicament to last week, trailing by 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, but they got plenty of time. There's 8:34 left.
Right where they want to be, right, guys?
Yeah.
Last week,
Lull them into a false sense of security.
well, last week with 4:39 remaining in the 4th, they trailed by 2 touchdowns. So Favre, the Vikings offense, goes to work, and the pass is caught by Shenko out of the 32 for a gain of 4.
This is that hurry-up offense that was successful last week, right?
Yeah, but this Bear defense is they're playing a little bit better than Arizona played last week.
Yeah, I think so, too.
So Favre without another receiver with Harvin on the sidelines. On 2nd and 6, Lance Briggs comes up with the pick. 3rd Vikings turnover, 2nd interception of the season by Briggs.
See what happened with Adrian Peterson. He and Brett Favre are not talking as they go off the field. Watch and see if he went this way. I think he was supposed to just run like a little curl. Oh, no, he just slipped. He just flat out slipped.
Looks like that ball hit the ground a little bit. Here comes the red flag. That thing came out of the sky.
Now remember, Brad Childress won his first challenge, so if he wins this one, he will still have another one remaining. Ruled an interception on the field.
The question is, are they going to be able to
Minnesota's
tell
challenging the ruling on the field that the ball was intercepted.
definitively if that ball hit the ground? Because Lance Briggs does get his hands underneath it and does have it off the ground as he rolls over.
Tony Correnti took a look at the last play, ruled an interception by Lance Briggs on the field.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field will stand as an interception. Minnesota will be charged with their first timeout.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the big thing on this, Tony, is again it was ruled interception on the field. I don't think we had enough to overturn it, though there was an opportunity, right, Mike?
Yeah, here's the thing to me. The ruling was that he intercepted it. It's a tight play, but not enough to overturn. Ball comes into his hands and eventually does touch the ground, but I don't really think he lost control of the ball, so you almost have to stay with that ruling, and that's where Tony was on that. I think he's right.
Yeah, it's easy to say after the ruling's already done, Mike. That's easy to say.
Here's Matt Forte.
Keep the record intact that way.
Yeah, you ain't dumb, I'll tell you.
2 penalty flags, and we thank Mike Pereira and the Fox Command Center. 2 flags on this play.
Holding, offense number 81. 10-yard penalty remains, first down.
It's on Rasheed Davis. Now getting back to the announcement by Correnti on the replay, he said the call stands. If he said the call is confirmed, that would mean that there was enough evidence, but by saying the call stands, there was not enough evidence to overturn.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what Mike Pereira said, is that element of control when the ball goes to the ground, and you couldn't tell if the ball shifted as it hit the ground. And Lance did such a great job of getting his hands and arms underneath that as he rolled over, it immediately was up off the ground again.
Gray area on that one, huh?
First down and 16 as Taylor found a hole, takes it down to the 33-yard line. Chester Taylor, against his former team, gains 10.
It's one of the more surprising things with this Minnesota defense, in my opinion, this season, is the fact that teams are able to run on them. When over the last 3 to 4 years, this was such a tough group to even consider running the ball. There were teams that would come in and would go heavy 70% pass, 30% run, just because they knew it was going to be futile to try and line up and play smash-mouth football with this front.
In the last 4 years, the Vikings have finished first, and second against the run. From the 34, this time a nice job against the run as Taylor is bottled up, and we'll head to Los Angeles once again and check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Browns and Jets, final minute. Colt McCoy to Muhammad Massaquoi. 44 seconds left when they score the game-tying touchdown. Half a minute to go. Tied at 20. We'll update you. Getting loose and loose.
And remember, the Jets went to overtime last week against Detroit.
Now here's the thing that, you know, we've talked about how seasons have gone for teams all year long, and as a Cleveland Brown fan, Colt McCoy is going to be the quarterback in the future. You've got Jake Delhomme, you've got Seneca Wallace. Well, both of those guys get hurt, and now the guy that wasn't supposed to play a lot this year is having a heck of a rookie season for you, quarterback.
Timeout taken by the Bears with the play clock winding down. Bears use their first timeout. Coming up following the Bears and Vikings, America's Game of the Week as Jason Garrett, Darrell's former teammate with the Dallas Cowboys, makes his head coaching debut. Placed Wade Phillips on Monday. Cowboys and the Giants coming up next. America's Game of the Week on Fox.
And it happened on Monday. I think their performance on the national stage against the Green Bay Packers last Sunday night, something that Jerry Jones could just not put off any longer. He makes the change, hires Jason Garrett on Monday. And I expect a much better performance. I expect the team to be much more disciplined. I don't know how it got away from the Cowboys this season as quickly as it did. There was so much hype, and the expectations were so high for that team coming into the year to find themselves at 1-7 at the midway point.
You mean it could actually get worse than what we saw last week, Darrell?
No, it will not be. It will not be today.
Forte tackled at the 35-yard line by Jared Allen.
But you have to understand also, Tony, that Dallas is getting into the hardest part of their schedule right now, the second half of the season.
But it was just lack of hustle last week.
Oh, no, I am not excusing any of it.
No, it was embarrassing. And I just don't, I never played that way. And I'm just surprised that guys on that team with the leadership and the talent they have, that they're in this situation. And it's a hustle thing. And it's just calling the guy out next to you. It's a lack of leadership, in my opinion. See what happens today against the Giants, though. Every day's a new day.
And we will see the Cowboys next week. They host Detroit. Low snap. Punt by Maynard. Will be down at the 1-yard line by Corey Graham. So with 5:06 remaining and the Bears leading by 2 touchdowns, the Vikings must go 99 yards. And Darryl, so much talk, speculation over the last couple of weeks about what has taken place in Minnesota. And we heard Goose on the pregame show tell the guys his thoughts on Brad Childress.
Well, we just finished having a discussion about Dallas and Dallas having to make a change. There were a lot of rumors last week with that Arizona game that Brad Childress's job was on the line. If he lost that game, that he was going to be fired afterwards by Ziggy Wilf. Now, does that carry on the rest of the season? In this position right now, I just don't think that the Minnesota Vikings can pull a rabbit out of the hat like they did last week again this week. You can't put yourselves in those positions. So the question now comes, what happens to Minnesota if they lose this game? Is there a change at the top there?
There's Lewis, Greg Lewis, out of bounds at the 14-yard line. And as Goose pointed out on the pregame show, we spoke with Brad Childress, we spoke with Brett Favre and some other Vikings players over the last couple of weeks. And the situation does not seem as dire when you talk to those guys.
No, it's not. It actually seems quite different than what you read in the paper.
Favre on 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line, looking for Camarillo, incomplete.
That's another example right there. We saw this earlier. As Brian Urlacher drops into his zone coverages, Brett can see that. Now, these receivers have to make that subtle adjustment at the top of the route and get back into the throwing lane. It's going to come back out into here. You've got to move to that spot. That's where Brett's throwing the ball. You can't run in behind DJ Moore in coverage or Brian Urlacher as he drops. When you turn around and face your quarterback, you've got to slide to that open window.
Vikings still without Percy Harvin, with Ardarian in street clothes. And that pass is intended for Visante Shanko, incomplete.
Brian Urlacher all over Shanko on that one. That was a ball that Shanko should have caught. Ball's delivered right there. Brian Urlacher does a nice job of punching the ball out. There's all the Viking receivers right there.
Yep, Rice on the left, Berrien in the middle, Harvin on the right. All 3 would be on the field for this play if healthy. And the catch is made by Greg Camarillo for the Vikings' first down.
He had a nice game last week against Arizona. I really think right now, if you're the Chicago Bears, we just showed all those receivers on the side for Minnesota. Obviously, Visante Shanko is my #1 concern. Greg Camarillo is #2.
First third down conversion of the game right there we just saw.
That's right. Vikings were 0 for their first 8. Catch is made by Gerhardt. Stays on his feet and is finally tackled at the 34-yard line.
I like Toby Gerhardt. He's a tough guy, huh, Darryl?
Well, you know,
like fullback.
We saw these guys early in the year against Detroit in week 3, and his progression from that time until now is very impressive.
From the 34 on 2nd and 1, Favre over the top to Peterson. And Peterson picks up a first down out to the 43.
And this is the trouble with this defense, Tony. They're not going to let you get something over the top. You're going to have to throw it short and be very methodical. That's the way that this defense is built.
I'm surprised that Brett got that ball off. They were all in his face. That whole defensive line got a lot of pressure up front.
Vikings with 2 timeouts. They started this drive back at their own 1. Favre pump fakes. Now he throws, and it's complete to Jim Kleinsaucer at the 45 for a gain of 3. And Pisatino Samoa is shaken up.
The clock is moving. They got to do something here.
Bears do not want that clock to stop. Here's Peterson. Peterson across midfield down to the 45-yard line of the Chicago Bears. So the Vikings have already driven 54 yards. We are under 3 minutes remaining.
Surprised they didn't get caught with 12 men on the field. You saw down at the bottom of your screen on that last play. Very surprised they didn't call that.
Favre with a pump fake. Now he throws, and Shenko slipped. The ball is intercepted. Asante Shenko, the intended receiver, lost his footing, and Chris Harris comes up with the pick.
It's 2 picks on receivers slipping while Brett's trying to deliver a ball to him. Watch Asante Shenko right here. Goes down the middle of the field, little seam route. Getting ready to catch the ball. Feet comes right out from behind him. Right out from under him. Interception. Chris Harris. That's what happens when you see them Chicago Bears defenders all around the ball. You make one mistake, it's going to be an interception.
3 interceptions today thrown by Favre. He's now been picked off a league-leading 16 times this season after throwing only 7 all of last year. Matt Forte out across the 30 for a Bears first down. Vikings use their second timeout with 2:18 remaining.
This has been a very impressive performance by the Chicago Bears today, because there was a lot of discussion about who they had played and who they had beaten. Their one real quality victory was against the Green Bay Packers, who lead the NFC North right now. But when you look at their other opponents, Dallas, Carolina, Buffalo, and Detroit, talking about teams that were really struggling this year.
We welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa from Soldier Field in Chicago. Brett Favre has just been picked off for the 3rd time today. He also fumbled. 4 Vikings turnovers. Bears lead by 2 touchdowns with 2:18 remaining. With a win, Chicago will move into a first-place tie with idle Green Bay in the NFC North.
They have done a good job by carrying the momentum they established last week against Buffalo. A team that a lot of people said, well, it's not a quality victory. Buffalo has been competitive all season long. They're beating Detroit right now 14-6 inside 2 minutes. So that's a team that's not going to quit. And what they found out last week was, hey, we've got our starting 5 on the offensive line set. We struck a nice balance with run pass. They've carried that over to the game today. But the big difference for Chicago today, compared to early in the year, their 3rd down performance.
10 of 17 on 3rd down. Well, Fox's football coverage doesn't end when the games are over. Stick around for the OT with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They'll have exclusive interviews, extended highlights, and a look ahead to next week's action. America's #1 post-game show, the OT, presented by Lowe's, coming up after America's Game of the Week on Fox. Vikings have exhausted their final timeout. So Forte takes it up to the 37, and the Bears will let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning. So Chicago 2 minutes away from moving into a first-place tie with the Green Bay Packers. Well, last week, Brett Favre and the Vikings able to come back from a 14-point deficit with under 4 minutes remaining in the 4th. Does not look like that will be the case today. Vikings out of timeouts. There's Cutler, and it is complete for a first down. Greg Olsen, and we'll check in once again for a game break with Kurt.
Jacksonville and Houston tied at 24. Final play of regulation. Going for the Hail Mary. David Garrard just lofts it up. It's batted into the hands of Mike Thomas. He catches it and scores the game winner with no time on the clock. 30-24 Jacksonville with a miracle finish. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Wow, what an ending down in Jacksonville. Here in Chicago, the Bears are going to send the Vikings to their 9th consecutive loss on the road. The last Vikings road win, November 1st of last year in Green Bay. Great job by our entire crew. Producer Barry Landis, Director Michael Frank, Associate Directors Jeremy Green and Darren Foster, Associate Producer Chirag Devascar, our technical producer David M. Hill, Technical Director is Chris Castro. The Chicago Bears, who started the season 3-0, they will raise their record to 6-3, move into a first-place tie with Green Bay. The Packers will travel to Minnesota next week. Meanwhile, for the Bears, a very short week. They will play the Dolphins in Miami this Thursday night.
Quick turnaround for the Chicago team, 3-0 within their division. This was a huge win for them today. They could have got the NFC North all muddled up with a loss to the Vikings today, but they came in, they took care of business. They built on what they established last week against Buffalo. They corrected some areas of concern that have been there all season long. It's a great team victory. Special teams for the Chicago Bears today were outstanding and a key reason why they won.
These teams will meet again in late December in Minneapolis. Brett Favre committing 4 turnovers. 3 touchdown passes for Jay Cutler. Bears over the Vikings in their 99th all-time matchup by the score of 27-13. For Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, Kenny Albert saying so long from Chicago. Now to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.